What is the central story of the entire Torah? It is a slave revolt. A nation of slaves breaks free through miracles from above. Now think about that. God gives humanity His book, His wisdom, His teachings, His instructions, and what story does He choose to frame it through? A mass prison break. And this story doesn't even make Jews look good. Every nation is trying to glorify its origins. Some say that they descend from kings, others say they descend from some gods, and the Jews, we come from runaway slaves. But this is the point. The Torah is not writing a story of superiority. It is introducing a revolutionary idea into human history. The world is not built of people who are meant to be on top and those who are meant to be on the bottom. In its laws, the Torah states a radically new idea that every human is equal before the law. Not just nobles, not just rulers, even a stranger and even an outsider. Now compare this to Greco-Roman civilization that has become the foundation of the Western culture. In Sparta, about 90% of people were slaves, ruled by a small group of elite. In Athens, only about 10 or 20% were citizens, and the rest had no rights. Plato, in his book Republic, insists that some people born being made of gold, others are born being made of silver, and yet others of bronze, meaning your birth determines your value. This was the structure of their society. The slaves were worked till they would drop dead, and the elite was watching people killed in the cruelest ways for sports. The poetry and the art of ancient Greece, which is romanticized now, were built by a society soaked in the blood of the tortured. In every civilization, land ownership meant a place to live and a source of income. In ancient Greece, only about 10% of people owned land, while everyone else was dependent on their mercy. Now compare this to the Torah that insists that every family should receive a portion of land in perpetuity. That's not just economics. This is a completely different vision of a society. These are two opposing worldviews, Judaism versus Greece and Rome. The Western civilization grows out of Greek and Roman system. Later, Christianity introduces to it selected Jewish ideas, but only partially. The real shift becomes with the Reformation, when the Bible was translated into common languages and people can finally read it directly. The printing press spreads those books of Bible, and in the 16th century we begin to see the rise of ideas like equality and human rights across Europe. John Locke, who is often called the father of liberalism, explicitly bases his ideas on the 5 books of Moses in his 2 treatises of government. And since then, the tension has never disappeared. And it is still here. The 2 visions of the world, the Torah versus Greece. Believe in one God versus secularism. Believe in sanctity of every human life versus utilitarian view of everyone. Belief in the divine law versus man-made rules. And the tension is still playing out today. Do you define people according to Moses or according to Plato?